Yeah, I think he's a fantastic manager. And also in the comments I saw, I think it's Andrew Adams turned around and said that he was at Swansea City as well. And you know what a ball playing team they turned into. Yeah. Very, very impressed with him. He looks to be going places and looks destined for bigger things after what he's doing down there at the moment.
Yeah, because the sad thing is they're playing some good football. You can hear me, okay? I presume, yeah. You all right, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to pick up on.
I know that all the problems that we're having.
Go
on. No, just saying the problems that we're having with the software we use, not our computers at all.
Yeah.
So Greg's producing behind the scenes, and Be Live just completely crashed, shut everything down. So it kicked us out. Sorry about that. It's all a little bit annoying and all a little bit
frustrating.
It's starting to annoy me more and more. I think we need to be looking at different stuff for next season. I think.
Yeah, well,
so. But anyway, so they outplayed us for.
All right, go on.
No, just saying they outplayed us for 70 minutes, scoring the goal as well.
Talk about
just completely. Well, just everything, slack marking, mistakes. We didn't shut crosses down all night. They just stretched us, and the ball gets fired in across the edge of the area, well, across the edge of the 6-yard box. And is it Malpay? Just standing there all alone, done well. To be honest with you, it was fired in him. He managed to control it and smashed it into the roof of the net. Piss poor, really, going past the family stand, giving it all out. But listen, it's them all over, isn't it?
That's what you'd expect,
giving it to the family stands. Yeah, but to be honest, it was everything they deserved. And had the result been anything other than that, up until then, I think we would have mugged them. So,
well, I mean, the notes from from that time at half time, we were overrun in the first half. We were second best in all departments. But that said, Brighton weren't exactly peppering our goal. While we went off air, I was still talking, and I don't know if the folks out there heard anything I was saying, but Andrew Adams made a point in the chat that he was talking about Benteke. Well, Benteke, to me, there's just one thing missing from his game, and we're going to come on to him about the Newcastle game in a minute, but I'm specifically talking about the Brighton game here. He looked slimline. He was making good runs. He was getting into good positions. He looked lightweight. He looked as though he shed a few pounds. The only thing that he's missing out of his game, in my mind, is one goal. Okay, one goal. And Ian wrote down from that night. 50th minute. Benteke goes close. He's running down the right channel. He tried to cross, but he didn't catch it as he planned. It turned into a glorious, powerful chip that beats the keeper and smacks against the angle of the crossbar and post. That just shows you when your luck's out, your luck's out. That was, we both looked at each other and laughed on the night, Gel. He needs a goal, doesn't he? So badly needs a goal.
He needs to go in a different shirt. Club country. He needs to go off and re-find Christian Benteke. I'm afraid. I'm absolutely don't care about what the haters say. I was done with him last year, maybe even halfway through the year before. He's paid an absolute fortune to score nothing for us. So, he's had another couple of... It's not like he didn't have the chances. He's had a couple of chances against Brighton. I think he had 3 chances. I mean, I'm not going to count that as a fluke cross, but yeah, it's... I don't know. The only thing I thought he was going to... I thought his best chance of scoring, believe it or not, was... but Jordan kept hold of the ball and shot over the top instead of putting Benteke through. But... Listen, I can't hide the fact that I don't want him in my side anymore. You know, for me, like I keep saying, I think he's cooked for me. But you know, it's Roy's going to continue probably picking him, and you know, even if he scores, everyone will go, "Hey, that's it! Look, shouts up now, he scored." But you know, he hasn't scored for such a long time now. You know, but the formation was drive. I mean, we put a forward up front who hasn't scored for ages. We put a forward who has scored out on the right wing, and Wilf just looked like he was, you know, was getting kicked out of the game. You know, professional fouled out of the game, and just, you know, he was at his frustrated best up until the last 20 minutes. And to be honest with you, I thought like I said, we covered their goal, but I thought that the best thing that happened was when Macca went left back, and I said to you at the time, I said, what he's got is someone that's going to put, instead of putting the ball to his feet, what Wilf needs the ball in front of him, not behind him, because he's got to turn. When he's turned, but generally when Wilf has to turn with the ball, he's got one or two or even three players facing him, and then it's a nightmare. But he's got the pace to go to. You can put the ball over the top, which is what Macca did 3, 4, 5 times, and let Wilf run onto it. Then all of a sudden he's in one-on-one, and you can see what happens when he gets to one-on-one. He was killing their right back all the time. That last 20 minutes, he had him on toast. So, you know, it's a real shame that that we haven't got a baller like Macca in that kind of position. But what we also missed, you know, as much as I'm not eating humble pie here, but you know, obviously, I've said for ages now that that Jeff Schlupp is obviously better going forward than he is at defending. He's toilet at defending. But he is very good. There's no, you know, the stats say that he is very good going forward. The same as PVA. You know, his stats when he goes forward. Now, last year he was scoring goals. I remember a couple of years ago he was our furthest forward player scoring goals. So yeah, it's very strange. But again, and like I have said for a little while now, you know, this what people are calling Roy ball. Our best form of defence is in attack. You know, it is what it is. Roy is trying to play defensive football with a team that can't really play defensive football. What we can do is win a game 2-1, 3-2. You know, it's and we've been saying it for ages. We have, you know, I've been saying it for years and years that I'd rather play a Keegan-esque 4-3, 3-2 week in, week out than try and nick a goal in the last 10, 15 minutes. I think we're still the only team in the Premier League that haven't scored a goal in the first 15 or 20 minutes. Our earliest goal is
because he's sitting back and soaking up the pressure and hitting them on the break, and that's how he's been playing. Somebody's asked me in the chat, it was Jordan O'Day, and also Greg just mentioned it. Any truth that Club Brugge are looking to offer 12 to 15 million euros for Benteke? Jill Holyoke, live on the air. Thank you for coming back, everybody else. Would you take their money?
I'll drive him there myself. Christ, I'd let him pay in instalments. Honestly, it's not an agenda against him. I just have to say, look, you know, he's in the business. Listen, if I'm a Tyler, if I just kept doing crap work, I wouldn't get work, would I? People wouldn't pay me. You know, it is what it is. You have to be, if you're a centre forward, you have to score goals. You know, 1 in 3. You know, that's his. I don't know what he is now. Let's go forward from when he was 1 in 3 at Villa, at Liverpool, if he was that.
When did he score a goal? When did he actually score a goal? Was it the penalty that he
Do you know the last? I'm trying to think. The last one I can remember. He scored a goal at a friendly, didn't I? He scored that header in that 5-0 win against Bristol City pre-season.
Yeah, that's right.
But it wasn't the goal. It wasn't the goal. The Milivojevic penalty. He gave him a penalty. Was it?
That's what I just said. That's why I asked the question. Is that where he took the penalty? Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Richards. Tim, I can see you're down there. Tim Richards is saying, Joe, building a house down here. Do you want to come down and do my tiles? He's in New Zealand, mate. He's your New Zealand correspondent. You called him yesterday.
Yes, I did. I did. I referred to him as our New Zealand correspondent.
You did indeed.
Um,
You did indeed.
so,
Right, hang on.
yeah,
Let's just cover the goal, Jill. 76th minute. Zaha. Zaha, who hadn't been at his best, was in absolute acres down the left. A long ball found him, which he controls, slips into the area, twists and turns. Martin Montoya leaves him on his arse. Then before thumping the ball high to the corner of the net, no stopping that. It was actually very similar to the goal that he scored, the second goal he scored down at the Amex. Zaha, oh yes, goal. There was similarities to that goal, wasn't there?
well, yeah, screamer into the top corner with his left foot. Yeah, so listen, there was. I'll tell you what, there was no denying as well that with 20 to go, that Max Meyer came onto the pitch. Yeah. I mean, that was. Yeah, that makes yesterday even all the more frustrating. Max changed the game. He really did change the game, and the deliberate supply to Wilf all the time was, it was just, it was so apparent. But yeah, I mean, what a goal! And he's the pantomime villain, isn't he, for a few teams, Wilf. Yeah, every other club basically. Yeah, but especially for Brighton. I mean, them and Watford have a special kind of hate for Wilf, and it is, when they boo him, you just go, oh, you carry on booing then. So yeah, it was. I did find it very strange though when he came to in front of Block B where I was standing with you. And he give it all that. I was like, we weren't booing you nutter. Get down the other end and give it to them. Give it to us. Christ. And then he did the usual, that. I mean, he loves the club.
He does.
I know. Yeah. That's like a you doubted me face, isn't it?
I'll give you my issue with that game. And again, it's something you and I touched upon on the night. Luca. Now, to me, the guy seems out of form. He can't make a 3-yard pass. His stats, actually, from yesterday were one of the best on the pitch, unbelievably. Do you
outstanding? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Most passes into the opposition, most tackles, most blocks, most times regaining possession. Scapegoat, and that's from somebody on another podcast. I think the reality is that a lot of people out there are calling for him to be dropped. Would you drop him?
It's a really tough one. It is a tough one. I don't know that I would, in all honesty. It would. I really don't know. The only thing I will say is I watched the CPFC analytics. I watched them go through. They were getting more. It seems like they're obviously a fanboy for Luca, because they were getting really frustrated. They were throwing out all kinds of stats, and then all of a sudden it was like, like hashtagged him as a scapegoat and everything else. So, but yeah, I really don't know. I mean, Luca's blown so cold and warm this year. I'm not even going to say hot and cold, because he hasn't been hot. He hasn't been hot at all this year. He's been castigated almost from the start. He's not been the Luca of last year. It's very strange how certain players, when everything's going right. I suppose football is a lot of it's like it's mental. If you have the mental capacity to override everything, then you're always going to be a strong footballer. But if you've got anything going on in the background with other players, with your family, with stuff, then I suppose you're going to struggle. So, but yeah, cool, mate.
Jill, I'm going to wrap up on the Brighton game. I'm going to get you. I'm going to head over to you in a minute to do the chat. So, Palace finished that game, the Brighton game, on the front foot, and they were the ones pushing for victory, not Brighton. We had our chances to win that game as well. Shame we didn't start that game as we finished it, but there you go. 1-1 draw at home against Brighton. You would have probably, when you saw the when you saw the lineups, you'd have probably taken it. Go on, mate.
Yeah, well, you're right. Would have took it. Fabulous saves. I would have. I know it sounds silly, but I would have took a draw. And so, we've had half sensible season, and we're only 3 points in front of them, which means they've had half sensible season. And had they won that game, we would have been level on points. So, the way that they played was way beyond anything I've seen from us for a long time. To be honest with you, it's one of the best performances I've seen at Sellers for a very long time. It come down and completely dominated. There's loads in the chat. I just wanted to say there was a couple of things. Keep going on about Lewis Dunk, but the Holmesdale were absolutely on fire when it comes to him. The chants were amazingly loud, and it really got to him to the point where at the final whistle, he went over to their fans. Obviously, did the hoo-ha with them, and then walks across as he was walking across the pitch. It was so loud. I'm not going to sing what the fans were singing to him, but it was hilarious, and he did not take his eyes off the Holmesdale. It literally walked 70 or 80 yards and did not take his eyes off us. And it was like, and I said to you, I said, look at him, he's staring, and he was getting dog's abuse. And then obviously now people have seen the video of him when he goes into the tunnel, and there's a few people shaking hands and stuff. And he says whatever he says about our club, which I hope he gets fined for.
Hang on,
because
stop. What are you talking about? I haven't seen it. What are you talking about?
What is it? I can't remember exactly. Someone will say what he said, but he's caught on camera with some of our players and their players shaking hands. Wayne Hennessy comes out as a high five with someone, and a hug and thanks for the game. And he walks past and he's caught on camera something like saying "muggy little club" or something like that. But let me someone would have seen it. But he was.
While you're looking it up, hang on. While you're looking that up, quick question to everybody out there in Facebook land. Thank you for rejoining us this evening. What is the current average age of our first team squad, our starting 11? Now, some of you more observant people will notice we did cover this a couple of weeks ago, but there is the reason why I'm asking that question. Go on, Joe, you going to carry on? Chat?
Yeah, no, he called us a jammy shite team.
Right, okay.
That's what he called it. He literally quotes, he gets caught. He says just those 4 words: jammy shite team, or 3 words. Sorry, jammy shite team. That's what he says. He's caught on camera, and don't even cover his mouth or anything. And he doesn't whisper either. Yeah, right. His hatred for us is real. Good. It really is. It's absolutely fantastic. And Rob Donovan is right. The average age of our team is 29.
Yeah.
The youngest player I think is 25. I think. And that regularly plays. So,
hi Ian, I can see you there, mate. Right, okay, so we'll quickly touch on yesterday's game. Away at Newcastle, 1-0 defeat, 5 defenders out. Dan now is added to the list. Cahill, Ward, Sacco, and young Mitchell. Now, we'd had it on very good authority. Bear in mind, we did get the team, Ben got the team absolutely spot on for last week. We had it on very good authority that if he wasn't going to start, he was there or thereabouts. Young Mitchell would have played yesterday, because they weren't too sure of Van Aanholt's fitness. So with those 5 defenders out, which are Dan, Cahill, Ward, Sacco, and Mitchell, the lineup was Guaita, Kelly, Kawate, Tompkins, Van Aanholt did come back into the team. Milivojevic, McCarthy, Zaha, Ayew, and Ben Deke. Now, I don't care who you are. I don't care what club you are with, but with your first team back 4 out, okay, with the exception of Van Aanholt, and also a couple of the backup players out, you're going to struggle defensively. It is. Do you think that was a good lineup? I thought it was quite a strong lineup.
Yeah, strongish. Yeah, I mean we can take out Mitchell for a start. I mean, we're clutching at straws going, yeah, he's injured as well. He made the bench. That's it. Has he actually played? No.
Mitchell.
So,
No.
do you know what? I thought we looked so one-sided with Wilf. I thought we really missed Townsend. I thought we really missed Townsend that game. I think had he played, the game would have been a bit closer. But yeah, we've with us sitting back and just playing as defensively as we could. But anyway, yeah. So if we need to move on to yesterday, mate. But I thought we'd done well. If we'd have if we'd have got anything out of apart from if we'd have got 3 points off of Brighton, that would have been an absolute mugging. Yesterday is yesterday. Do you know what? I just had a feeling that I always think if we go to Newcastle and get a draw, then it's good. I know they say that that our fans are the extra man, but they really are the extra man up there when they're playing bad and they get slaughtered by their fans. It's a good place for the away team to go, but when their fans are on their side, it's 50,000, and they do make a bit of a noise up there as well. So. I would have been happy with the point yesterday.
We had Quartey had a good early opportunity. He climbed up high, but put his header over the bar. On the stroke at half time, Zaha was in the thick of things. This time winning a handy free kick from 30 yards out. Lucas steps up, takes it, and leaves Dubravka scurrying frantically across to his right. But great, and it really was close. I don't know if you saw it from the behind angle, Jill.
It was a yard wide, yeah. I've seen it again from a few angles. It's a yard wide, but I mean, well, yeah. I mean, on target, keeper gets nowhere near it. So yeah, it was unlucky. Thought Wilf was unlucky as well. Looks like he prefers to be on his left foot than his right, but again, Dubravka made a good save. From Wilf low down, but I mean he did sort of hit it right at him. But yeah,
so
I mean it's
on 62 minutes.
I thought we got better in the second half, didn't we?
I was going to say on 62 minutes, a through ball played into Benteke, who races into the box. He gets power behind his shot, good direction, but Dubravka parries it, and then Lejeune clears it with Jordan Ayew pouncing on the rebound. So it's still one goal in 36 games for the Belgium. Oh, there you go. Somebody's answered. Oh, Ian's answered the question. Answered for us. One goal in 36 games for Palace. Not acceptable. I'm sure you'll all agree. 82nd minute, the killer blow. Almiron, good player that is, isn't it? What a player that is. Finally scores for Newcastle after 27 games. So we've got problems with Benteke not scoring, but they've had issues with Almiron not scoring. The ball comes over. Carroll lays the ball back into the penalty spot. Almiron there, it's out a volley at home. Good, took you well, didn't
he? Yeah, again, it was a cross, sort of like a hard volley, big looping, spinning cross to the far post. Carroll gets up, nods it back. He nods it back to the penalty spot where Almiron is standing there on his own. Like, when I mean on his own, like he was literally had a volleyed penalty on his own. Not a single player near him. That was disappointing. That was really disappointing. And to concede that late, it was. I was listening to it on the radio. I couldn't watch it. I was working, but I just thought to myself, I don't think we're going to come back from this. And of course, then Roy turns to Meyer to try and spin a game on its head in
3 minutes,
in 6 or 7 minutes, plus a bit of injury time. And again, people are just, when it comes to it, the haters for him will just go, oh yeah, he come on again and he didn't do anything. And
okay, elephant in the room. Jill, elephant in the room. Okay, you've now touched on it. Okay, so we're going to do it 2 or 3 minutes, please. We're back to the Roy Hodgson of old, where if he does make a substitution, it's not till 75 minutes. Yesterday it was even later than that. What is going on? Is it the lack of quality on the bench that's causing him not to use it? We saw what effect Meyer had the other day against Brighton. Why did he leave it with 5 minutes to go before he brought him on? Social media is an uproar about it, and that's why he's getting all the stick. He ain't getting any stick from me, and I know he's not going to get any stick from you. But what's his? Would we not be better off putting Wickham up top? Okay, bring another striker on. We're 1-0 down. We've got the flair player like Maya. Bring him on with 15 minutes to go. Try and change the game. Your thoughts, Joe, please.
And you mean try and win the game?
Or try and get back in the game. Well, yeah.
And again, this is again. I hate to use it, but I've seen the phrase used so much this weekend, or so much since yesterday. But Roybal, it doesn't. It's defensive at all costs, and yeah, I really don't know. I don't get the substitutions. I really don't. I don't get why he doesn't do. He doesn't do what he. Do you know what? He's not. He's reactive instead of being proactive. So that's more frustrating. Rather than go, do you know what? We're on top here, and I'm going to try and really force things home, and then get Meyer on, who undoubtedly is better going forward than he is going backwards. I just. I don't know. I don't know. I just, when we criticise Roy about about what's going on, the state of this and the state of that, and then losing games when we should have, won or got something out of it, and then people rightly turn around and say, well, look, we're 8 points better off than we were last year. It looks like we've got another year in the Premier League, and that's all we're trying to do. That's all. That's all it looks like. And I heard someone say, "Well, the board needs to back. The board needs to back Roy, and how can he do it when he's got his hands tied?" And then I can't remember. It might have been Grant come up. Not Grant. It might have been Carl come up with something really good today when he told me. He said, well, he was given Camarasa and he was given Maya, and Camarasa is just, well, I don't know where he is. I think he's already on his Christmas and New Year's holidays, and Maya gets a bit popular. It doesn't really matter, does it? It wouldn't matter if he was fit, well, and scoring triple hat tricks in the 23s. He still wouldn't get a game.
Right.
He just wouldn't get a game.
Joe, I want to refer you to Tim Richards' comment in the chat, because I want you to read it out in a minute. But while you're doing that, I'm going to set the competition question, if you don't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, John Knox has just written in the chat that he would love one of these. They're not for sale publicly. They won't be for sale publicly, not at the moment anyway. We are the only podcast you can watch. The only podcast you can watch. Glad all over VAR. That's us, okay? Who wants to win one of those? Well, if you want to win one of those, pin your ears back right now. So, we are going to do a one-off competition. Go on. You're giggling. Go on.
It's glad all over. Glad all over. You went glad all over VAR.
Right, okay. So, the question is going to be, right, we want your predictions, please. We want your predictions for the West Ham game. We want to know what you predict the crowd will be on Boxing Day, okay? And the prediction with the nearest goals correct score will win one of these, and we will send it to you directly in the post. So, what's the crowd? Okay, the person with the nearest to the crowd as a tiebreaker. What's the score going to be? Okay, don't need to have goal scorers or anything like that. Get on the chat now. I'm just marking this for Ian Lyons because he will pick it up at a later date after the Boxing Day game. So what's the crowd? Okay, what do you think? So we know it's going to be around the 23 mark. Okay, stop giggling. Okay.
Keith Diamond's not going to win it.
Oh, Christ.
Keith Diamond said 13,500.
So he clearly doesn't want to mug them, does he? So there's your first attempt.
It's going to be 24,000 plus.
Okay.
All right.
So
that's what you need to aim at.
Your crowd total, please, and also your score prediction. And whoever gets it closest, we'll announce on next Sunday's show. Okay. And one of these will be winging their way in the new year up to you in the post. Now, I want you to refer back to Tim's question, please, Jill.
Go on. What you'll have to read it. I've got.
It's on
I
screen.
can't see it. I can only go back a little way.
It says gel.
Oh, okay, Joe, I'll ask the question again. The question is, as Palace fans, what do we want? Are we happy? What are we happy with? Are we happy to accept a club whose only ambition is to survive in the Premier League, or do we want the club to push to improve, even though it means having a manager that is willing to try things that may not work out and cost us games? Okay, so you want me to answer that?
I would love you to have a go.
So I remember Parrish turned around 8 years ago. He said, if you don't invest, you won't go forward.
You won't improve. I
And
remember.
that's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, you know, he said you stagnate. If you don't invest, you stagnate. And that's exactly what's happened. I saw a great tweet again. Carl Tushingham, I think his name is, and he has proper been on a moan the last sort of 18 hours. But you know, a lot of people, and as I said as well before, I don't think anything's going to happen with the stadium for a long while, a real long while. I don't think anything substantial is going to happen to the squad this season, this transfer window. I think what will happen is at the end of the season, you will see the big earners go, the really big earners go. Otherwise, we won't. We are just so, you know, completely tied up against FFP. Do I think? Do I think any of the youth are going to come through? No, I don't. I really don't. I think the way that we've got to do is do what Leicester have done and go into the Championship and buy players that are nearly there and then stick them into a Premier League environment and pray that they make the step up, you know, which is what most of their players have done, which is why they've got such a fantastic young squad. Do I think we're a club going sideways at the moment? 100%. I think we've been going sideways for probably 3 years. Am I happy with the way that just surviving in the Premier League? I could get pelters for this, but no, I'd rather us try and crack the top 10, or die trying. You know, I really do. If we're there just for the crack, then, and this is what we've got to look forward to forever, then we just turn into, then we just, you know, I said I'd love to just be a Stoke, and I said that for a long time, but now we are Stoke. I fucking hate it.
Okay. I'm going to check.
So, but even they had ambition and buying players.
I've got a problem here, haven't I? Because
we don't.
3 of these, I'm going to come on to something else in a minute. Thank you for that, Jill. So, Andy Hopper, Australia, Tim Richards, New Zealand, Roy Cribbin and Simon Cribbin, both in Canada, all entering the competition because they want us to send it to all parts of the bloody planet. You want us to send us one of these mugs that none of you got out there yet, okay? Is there a market for it? Shall we buy some? You tell me. I don't know, 12 quid each, I don't know, including posting packages. Right, you tell me. Okay, Nigel Croucher, hello mate. I hope you had a good day up north yesterday. What do we do wrong in training on the day before a match? Pick up far too many injuries in the last session of training, ? We do have a weird amount of injuries at the moment, do you not think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we had a weird load of injuries 2 years ago, didn't we? Where we had literally 9 first-team players out, with 14 players, whatever it was, 12 players injured. But we actually had 9 or 10 of our first-team squad completely out. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just I don't know whether it's, you know, whether we're training on different pitches, whether we're playing full contact. I really don't know. Again, it's one of those things where, you know, we were saying, you know, only a few weeks ago, yeah, it's a rarity. I've got a full squad. And now, just a matter of weeks later, he's going, we're really...
Kiss of death. Andrew Adams said, forget...
It seemed it, yeah.
Forget about the stand, just fill in the corners. It'll be cheaper and it'll increase the capacity. Now, one of the parts of the plans
How long have we said that
generations, for? Andrew. Generations we've been talking about that. If you just filled in the corners, if you're standing in the lower homes, you'll get a bloody monsoon wind coming in from your left-hand side. But part of the original plan, or this current plan of parishes, is to put on the old stand side of the ground 2 glass. They're like circular office blocks, which beautifully fills in the corners, and it would look spectacular. Even that would improve the stadium. The bit where the TV box is, in that corner in the Homesdale, between the Homesdale and the Arthur, that would look superb. Okay? And it would improve capacity by £5,000 or £6,000. It wouldn't, 5,000 or 6,000 people. It would not need to have a fortune spent on it to give it a little bit of an upgrade and a bigger crowd capacity. I've been down the south coast today. Went past the Amex. I'm just coming to you now, mate. Went past the Amex today. And do you know, it guiles me that they hold 30,000. That's 29,500 plastics and a few hundred Brighton fans. Go on, mate. I'll have you.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's all the Chelsea season tickets can't get season tickets at their other games.
Yeah.
So I got Stephen Arl said only Mitchell and Perrick are good enough for the first team squad. Well, I mean that's 2. So Graham Kitcher says I think you take the same risk spending big on players as you would buying Championship players. You could spend 80 to 100 million and they might not fit into our style of play. Therefore, Joe's right by buying in the Championship. Well, the thing is, even now, going down, and again, this is now being discussed by the BBC. I think what happens is one or two of them, they sit there, listen to all the podcasts, and eventually just go, do you know what? I think that the fan podcasts and fans are actually talking the most sense here. When they turn around and say that, you know, you've got to buy younger players, but on the other side of it now, when it comes to the Premier League. You know, it's like Ollie Watkins. What's he going to cost us if we go for him now? When everyone knows we're after him, if he keeps scoring goals like he's scoring in the Championship, he'll just go to a bigger club. You know, Southampton have got more money than us. They're still sitting on tens and probably 100 million. Southampton from. I mean, you know, they sell a 40, 50, 60 million pound player every season. You know, and they invest through their amazing academy. So yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, and I can see from Parish's point of view. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to speculate to accumulate. If you keep, you know, you buying has-beens, it's not going to pay off.
Great timing. You don't know this question's coming up. John Gill says, any news on the Americans selling their shares? Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're purposely running over because we know we had that. A bit of a gap in the middle, and we have a bit of an announcement to tell you about in a minute, okay? John Gill says, any news on the Americans selling their shares? We're a couple of players away from being a solid side, but we are deadlocked at the moment with regard to buying anyone decent. I'm not suggesting we spend Benteke / Sacco money, but we need better than free transfers and loans. And Gary Doughty said, as a response to that, level 1 training facilities, sort the team out and get some decent players in. No good having top facilities in the Championship. Any comments to any of that?
Yes, I'll tell you what. You saying about the academy and everything. I just saw it. But anyway, so these Championship players are going to cost us a fortune. Yeah. Did we interview Bobby Bowery? Did we have Bobby Bowery on the show last year?
Not on this one, no.
Okay, so I was involved in an interview with Bobby Bowery, and he turned around and said that there were, and I'm pretty sure I can quote on this, hundreds of Wilf Zahas out there. But when they get bought into the clubs, they get the flair coached out of them. Well, where are all these little Wilf Zahas in our academy? Where are they? You know, are we working hard enough and bringing kids? I know there's only so much, you know, when it comes to money and age, you can only, you know, the law says you can only offer certain kids year contracts, and some kids you can't even offer contracts. I think you just, you know, but it is extremely frustrating the position that we find ourselves in at the moment. But on the other side of it, on the flip side of it, we are sitting pretty tidy at the moment, in the middle of the Premier League, the richest league in the world. Someone else has just nicked all our money.
Yeah. Andrew Adams has just said he would love to see Richard Shaw on the show. What's he been doing since he left Palace? Do you know what, mate? I'll get Grant to ask that question. Grant Saunders will be having a more active role on the page and on the show, ladies and gentlemen. He's such a lovely and knowledgeable guy. Travels the length and breadth of the country, watching us home and away. And he's a good guy. He's a really, really knowledgeable Palace fan. Go on, mate.
Well, I imagine it's getting harder and harder because, as you know, we've had, we've interviewed 2 players for this show. Both of them have slapped us on the arse a little bit, not done us a lot of good. But we were, believe me, we were close to trying to get hold of Julian Speroni, and then only last week we found out that he signed an NDA, which means that he can't talk about his time at Palace.
Yep.
So
I'm absolutely correct.
I'm really, really pissed about that because I don't think Jules is involved in football anymore, and it's on good authority as well. By the way, yes, that's not just something that's made up. So I imagine if Richard Shaw's gone, then he being so closely involved in the club, I imagine that you would have
NDA there.
That you would have definitely. He would have signed an NDA as well
non-disclosure arrangement,
to see that to finalise his
one last question. Jordan O'Day says
agreement.
Sorry, Jordan. Hello, mate. Hope you're okay. I hope your mum's okay. Wish her a happy Christmas from me. Who shall we look at in January transfer window, and why will they be a good fit in our squad? Well, there's a massive question, Jordan.
Oh,
there's a whole show there, Jordan.
I think we need. Yeah, we need. Well, someone else said the other day, we can't just say we need a forward. I think we need 5. That's my personal opinion. I think probably need 6. We need 3 at the back. We need at least 1 in the middle, and we need 2 up front. We need 2 legitimate centre forwards. If one gets injured, we're back in the same boat. So we need 2 centre forwards. We need competition. If Jordan's only going to get us, well, saying only, but if Jordan can get us upwards of 10 goals a season, then with someone else, other people need to step up. I think we're in the bottom 5 goal scorers in the Premier League. I think so. It's a shame. But and Paul Holden said get Pookie. I'd love to get him.
Norwich have got to go down first.
Yeah, Andrew said, "What a load of bollocks! The club dropping in NDAs, controlling stuff. I know NDAs, and if it's true that you stand no chance of getting anyone. Suppose Holloway must be free by now. I'd like to get Ian Holloway because I could talk about something completely different other than football.
Right.
Well, he's a metal detectorist as well, so I just want to talk to him about that, not football.
Okay, right. So,
but yeah,
so, ladies and gentlemen, I can see all your predictions in there. Andrew Lucking says 23,555 with a score of 2-2. Nigel saying 24,899 with a score of 2-1. Don't forget to give me your prediction. What will be the crowd at Selhurst Park on Boxing Day? What will be the number, the nearest to it? And the score prediction, okay, will win one of these beauties, okay? Please don't make it a New Zealander or a bloody Aussie or a Canadian that wins it, you toe rags. But it doesn't matter even if they do, I'm only joking. Right, we have a bit of news. Before we wrap up, Gel, we have a bit of news about Red and Blue Review. So you'll be aware of Spotify, you'll be aware of Google Pods and wherever your normal podcast host providers. That will not change. Nothing's going to change to you guys, but I'm just telling you, we are doing a joint venture with a company called Big Heads. I know the irony is not going to pass you by with Gel sitting on the screen, but we're actually going into partnership with somebody called Big Heads. Now, the Big Heads is a global podcast hosting platform is what they are. They're bigger than Spotify. They're bigger than the Google podcast people and all the rest of them. If you pick up this podcast from one of those providers, it will still be there and always will be. Also, YouTube, I need you to try and get over to our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel, okay, because that will be the future of where this podcast goes. But as a hosting company, we're going to go over to Big Heads, okay, and the beauty about them is the whole idea is they're going to be pushing our podcast, not just in the UK, worldwide, okay. They're now a huge American company, but there'll be hopefully thousands and thousands of other people downloading this podcast and downloading this show from the live recording, and we're very excited about it. Jill, did you have any thoughts on Big Heads?
No, Tim Richards said, was that Dickheads?
No, that's the presenters.
Paul Alden said, aren't your heads big enough? Yeah. It's again, we were approached by them out of the blue, and behind the scenes, Lucy, Nick, and Ian have done a load of work in chatting to them behind the scenes. We all signed the contract, sent it back, and so it looks like we're going to go out to more far-flung places. So it's something we're quite looking forward to.
Yeah, what it does give us is they are obviously they're an American-based company, so their biggest sport is baseball and American football. But they've now got the whole of the Premier League covered, okay? And Crystal Palace is now covered. And what it gives us is we are the exclusive Crystal Palace podcast provider for Big Heads. So you're not going to get any of the other lots that have come out pre-recorded, polished stuff. Okay, you're going to get. Big Heads are going to get this raw and ready with all the technical issues and everything else. I don't care. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and we are looking to grow and grow and grow, and they're a part of it. You're a part of it, and we're all going to be involved. So we're going to take this on to the next level again next year and move it forward. I think. Listen, it's 9:15. Greg's got the babies to sort out. You've got to get out and buy your wife a Christmas present. Okay. I haven't got any money to buy my wife a Christmas present. Should we let these people go?
Yeah, I'm shattered, mate. I need to go to bed.
Right, he needs to go to bed. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody on Red and Blue Review, okay, the whole team, can we wish you and your families a wonderful and peaceful Christmas and a prosperous New Year. We will be back on Sunday the 29th of December at 8 p.m. where we will do a review of the West Ham game. But from everybody on the team, can I wish you happy Christmas, God bless, love you all. Up the Palace. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Dan, we're thinking of you.